Hello everybody, I'm Liz, and I am back to doing Book Review Mondays because I have finally finished Alexander Hamilton, his biography by Ron Chernow, and just when you thought I was done with talking about Hamilton, I'm never going to stop talking about Hamilton. And this is basically, if you don't know, the book that inspired the Hamilton musical by Lin-Manuel Miranda, and it is essentially such an amazing book, and I have to say you can't be a true Hamilton fan unless you actually read this book, because this book talks about the things that were left out in the play, and it also shows where Lin-Manuel Miranda did his free creative license to change things up in his life. Particularly where Angelica was actually married before she met Hamilton, which was one of the major changes in the play. There's also several other things, like when he meets people and how he interacts with some people. The play also makes it seem like he's sort of an absent father, but he is very much an active father, and he's actively participating in every child that he has because he has 8 children. And then he also, with Eliza, takes in wards and orphans, and that sort of took off into where Eliza created the first American orphanage after Hamilton's passing. So I do have to say that this is an autobiography. It's very, very long, thick, and it is very dry writing at times. In order to help me get through this dense material, I actually picked up the audiobook, and it was narrated by Scott Brick, and it was really, really helpful being able to listen to it on audiobook because it helped me get past a lot of those really dry spells in the book, because it is so centered and heavy on Alexander's work and how he writes things and all he did to be the treasurer and be a lawyer and all of that stuff that he did to be one of our great founding fathers. The one criticism I have for this book is that I wanted it to dive more into Alexander's affair with Maria Reynolds. It only briefly talks about it over one chapter, and I felt like I really needed to know more about it because the play really dives into it and makes me want to know more about it. It does say that it went on for an entire year, and then he kept trying to push her away, and then getting up to the Reynolds pamphlets and all of that stuff. I think I just wanted a little bit more about that because this really does center around more of his work and what he did when he fought in the Revolutionary War and how he became the Secretary of Treasury, and also him being a lawyer, that it didn't really center around his personal life as much. And so I kind of just wanted a little bit more on his personal life. I do have to say that I was very interested in the last 3 chapters where it is the lead up to the duel, and then the duel itself, and then the aftermath of the duel. And then you have the epilogue where it talks about Eliza's journey and recovery and all of the things that she did after his death. And I was heartbroken. It hurt me a lot, and it made me cry just a little bit because it is so sad seeing all of those parallels between Hamilton and also his son, because they both died in a duel, even though dueling was illegal. But it really solidified that need to have dueling stop, especially because in some instances of a duel, you can make it so that it seems like you're definitely not gonna fire. However, there's a lot of controversy with that, especially in Hamilton's death, and there's even rumors about him going into the duel wanting to commit suicide. So it's very, very interesting, and I was very intrigued by those last 3 chapters. And it was actually very heartfelt, like hearing about Aaron Burr's side at the aftermath and how he basically had to go in hiding and he couldn't really be a part of anything anymore because it really did destroy his life, and he really understood that he shouldn't have gone into the duel, and he really wished that he could have taken it all back. So this book, even though it's really long, very dry writing, it can get very interesting in some points, especially if you are intrigued and in love with the musical like I am. So that really keeps you motivated to fly through this book as fast as possible so that you can actually see how his life really is, experience his actual writing, because this book does quote from actual letters and his actual publications. So that was really nice. I know it's not for everyone, being an autobiography, but I still suggest that you pick this up if you can, even if it's just audiobook, and listen to it a little bit as you go, because it is so interesting and it really makes you wonder why we don't learn more about Alexander Hamilton in school. Thank you guys so much for watching, and please let me know in the comments down below if you have tackled this immense autobiography, and I'll see you next time. Goodbye!